going to be speaking to you about beetroot. Actually, it's probably the new wonder food. Well, perhaps it's been the wonder food for a long time, just that we didn't realise it was. But still, to come in our programme a little bit later on, we're going to be talking about the Arnside archaeology. I'm glad I'm not a member of it. I couldn't say it. The Arnside Archaeology Group, they got their evening tomorrow, actually. And they're going to be talking about the Anglo-Saxon Church of Brixworth in Northamptonshire. But we thought, well, let's have a talk about it today and find out what they're getting up to and why they have an archaeology evening in Arnside. A lot of little places in Arnside, of course. Good gust of wind. Could be in Lancashire, could be in Cumbria. Depends which way the wind blows and the tide going by. So I'll be talking to them a little bit, in about half an hour's time on our programme. And of course, following this particular programme, Julie Clayton sitting in for our Peggy on the News Hour, bringing you up to date with everything that's been going on all around the county or all around the world. All that's to come between, now and that's taking week 4 o'clock here on BBC Radio Cumbria. Paul Braithwaite here with you through until 5. Now tomorrow night, the Arnside Archaeology people having a special evening together at 7:30, and they're going to be talking about an Anglo-Saxon church actually in Brixworth in Northamptonshire. I thought we'd better find out a bit more about this. And Carl Langford joins us on the phone now. Afternoon to you, Carl.
Hello, hiya, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Now then, Arnside Archaeology, is this a big subject to be discussed in Arnside?
Well, the thing is, if I can give you a little bit of background, I've been teaching a class in Arnside for the best part of 3 years. And basically the situation was about 2 years ago I started teaching this class various different types of archaeology locally and farther away. And the thing is, then I moved away from Cumbria, but I've been teaching the class via Skype. And the interesting thing is that even though I'm in South Wales now, every evening I speak to my old students in Arnside via Skype, and we've been going through a variety of different things. So I'm basically there. I've got a nice group there. They always invite other people to take part, and obviously, there's so many different areas that we look at. Locally, the period that we're looking at this minute is the period that we refer to as the period of Arthur, and we're basically looking at everything like that, like Pictish art, Anglo-Saxon churches, the Vikings, the end of the Romans in Britain, and in particularly is Bringsworth Church. It's an amazing church. It's All Saints Church in Bringsworth, or Brixworth. I can never get the name right, but it's an amazing church.
I'm just thinking, you're talking about archaeology, obviously going back in time, and yet using the most modern techniques with Skype.
To be honest with you, I've got to be honest with you. When people absolutely love my classes because I'm there in the room, I'm really enthusiastic. I'm doing hand language now. I'm really enthusiastic, and then when I start, we had 10 students in Arnside about, as I say, 2 years ago. And when I turned around and said, look, my job has come to an end in Arnside, and I've got to continue my archaeological job in South Wales. But they all said, we want you to continue teaching us. But that was only a few of them. And it was like, we don't want to come along because Carl's not going to be in the room with us. He's going to be on Skype. We don't understand that. And we lost about half of the number. But some of those original number are the likes of Andy. He's a lifeguard in Arnside. Gilbert, he comes all the way down from Milham. We've got Tommy, who's a teacher who's been with us a while. We've got a few nice group there. And usually Skype. But you can, weirdly with Skype, it has some advantages that, I can just click on, and like I say, we can do an article of the week, and I can read out something that the BBC has put on their own website. You've got a brilliant website for showing archaeological stuff that have happened across the country, and I refer to that. But when we actually look at examples like Bringsworth, my university, Leicester University, did a wonderful survey involving Bringsworth Church. And the reason why Bringsworth is fantastic is not because it's Anglo-Saxon, it's because there's a little secret that archaeologists have used to understand the history and background of this really, I'm going to use sexed up church because it's amazing.
What about Arnside itself? Did you do much local archaeology when you were in Arnside?
Well, the weird thing is we've got this bloke called George, who's getting on a bit. Sorry, George, if you're out there. Lovely bloke, George. He's got some everyone knows each other. So Claire the gardener, and she went out to look at this timber. We haven't got dates for it, but Arnside, I think, is a very unusual place in that it's got weird bits of potted history. It's got bits of medieval, sort of late medieval towers and stuff. It's got industry. It's got interesting industries. Industries involved in, because we've got further away. We've got the various iron industries and all the rest of it. So there's bits of ideas of smelting and stuff in the area. There's an Iron Age past, and the prehistoric past is amazing. You've got caves and stuff. Grange over Sands, in that area, you've got wonderful caves, and particularly in Arnside, there's the legendary Missing Cave, which I don't know anything about because I've never seen it. But there's a cave that's got prehistoric.
Well, if it's missing, you probably won't have seen it.
Pardon?
If it's missing, you probably won't have seen it.
Yeah, but usually I can find things that have been missing and miss them and lose them myself. Don't ask. I'm a person who can fall asleep on a train and end up in Middlesbrough when I'm meant to be going to York or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's happened. But I lose stuff in my own house. So there you go. But you got wonderful bits of history, and Arnside is a potted place in the sense that it's between two old sort of between that wonderful territory of Lancashire and Cumbria itself. So it fits in the middle. It can never work out whether it's in Cumbria or Lancashire. And with that, it's got quite a weird little history.
I suppose it depends which way the wind blows, actually, as to which county it's in. It's a lovely place.
We blow a fair bit in Arnside, don't
It does, actually, yes, as well.
They're not as bad as Millom, but that's something else. We don't want to talk about Millom.
You obviously, you're very well into archaeology, Carl. I can tell just by speaking to you how keen you are. What attracted you to archaeology?
What attracted me to archaeology in the first place was that the thing is that there's a couple of things. When I started off in archaeology when I was a child, my granddad, Noah, he used to take me around loads of different churches and castles and stuff, and then I became involved in an archaeological excavation when I was about 9 or something, and then my parents used to go to Cyprus, so we used to go to Cyprus and used to visit sites in Cyprus, and then when I teach, I do it because I'm an actor, right? I'm more of an actor now than I am as an archaeologist. But I teach archaeology once a week on a Thursday, and I teach it on a Tuesday evening, as we're saying with this group in Arnside. And the weird thing is that I can seem to bring history alive by just standing in the room talking about things. One interesting anecdotal story, because I do loads of anecdotes all the time. I had a couple of students one day who, in South Wales this was, they had me in the room, and after 40 minutes they said, "Carl, we want a break." And you think, oh God, I've said something now. I didn't want to go home. We want a break because we're absolutely exhausted. We are so sick of fighting the Roman soldiers. You're bringing it so much alive, we are tired. And I'm thinking, yeah, I've won. So afterwards, I think they had to go home and sleep after this, because I think there was realistic blood all over them. And mine, I think, but they didn't turn on the teacher at all. But the thing is, you have to bring stuff alive with archaeology. Because to be honest with you, it can be one of the most boring subjects in the world. For example, when Time Team was around a few years back, if you had the wrong presenters on Time Team, and they did occasionally, it was as boring as anything. But when you got Tony Robinson jumping up and down in the room, it can get really interesting. So that's why they had him, because most archaeologists simply don't have a personality. I will say that because that's my background. They don't have a personality, but I do. And a lot of archaeologists don't like the way I present things because I bring it alive. And usually they don't have a word in edgeways, because you don't have a word in edgeways now either.
I'm just trying to jump in there, Carl. Just to say, if anybody's interested, I mean, obviously you mentioned that this is a small group, and I think that they meet in sort of one person's house. Can anybody sort of join the group?
Yeah, the only stipulation we have, I spoke to Andy. If anyone knows Arnside, they know Andy. He's a lifeguard guy, and he's a wonderful bloke. And all we say is that we give out our number, and if they want to contact me after the show or anything, all I'll do is say, oh, hello, are you interested? Give them a quick check over, and then they can come along. And that's
thanks very much indeed.